Was it? We're live.
What? No intro, no countdown.
Forgot about that.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Haunted Connections show. I hope you're all doing well. So we're bringing this to you from Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, and we're going to be discussing tonight something that sort of happened on Sunday, aren't we?
Yeah, and I forgot to do the intro. Hence the hesitant start. We normally have the countdown. Yeah, we're going to talk. If you didn't watch the Demon Connections live on Sunday, A, why not? And B, you missed a damn good live, in my opinion.
It was good. Yeah, it was really good.
So what was your?
Each one of these that we do, they're always completely different, because we found that none of these demons are ever the same. So for anybody that's not familiar with what we do, we sort of off camera, I will summon a demon, the particular one that we're looking at in that week, and the whole sort of concept of this is to look at the 72 demons that are in the Lesser Key of Solomon, and we want to look at each one individually, and we summon the demon off camera and they come and work with us, and we want to sort of find out all about them, really. So I will give some intro into sort of the public that's out there, the information that's out there in the public domain, and then we will try some experiments and see what information or what activity we get. So this week it was really good. We tried something completely different. Neil had a dream, so they came to him in his dream, and this showed him this experiment. So this is what we did.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
I was amazed and shocked.
You were a bit apprehensive at the start.
I was very nervous before we started because I didn't know what was going to happen. Julie thought I was going to get possessed or something. But no, it was really, really interesting. And obviously I didn't know what I'd written until Jane brought me out of the meditation.
Yeah, so what we did was, if you've not watched it yet, Neil sat under the copper pyramid in the seance room, and I helped him sort of get into a deeper meditation. And when he was in that meditation and he was quite open and relaxed, we then asked the demon to sort of go to him and work with him, put images in his head, put words in his head, put information, give him information. And Neil was blindfolded and he had earphones on, and he had a pen and paper in front of him. So obviously he couldn't see what he was doing, couldn't see what he was writing, but he was sort of scribbling away all the time. And some of the information that was coming through was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah. And tonight we're going to bring all those pages up. I can't bring them individually. I can't work that out, and we've run out of time. So we will bring all the pages up that I wrote, all the symbols that I drew. So what was your honest opinion on it? Do you think, yes, this person was directing me?
I think he was, yeah. The demon we were looking at was person, not a person. Because what Neil just said, it sounded like person, but it was person who came through, who we were looking at. And it was really good. It was completely different again. He came to me in a form, I could see him. Again, he was sort of a naked, quite muscular man. But the only thing about this one was he never had any sort of genitalia. He never had. It was although he was naked, there was sort of nothing there. It looked like a bit like an action man.
All right.
That sort of thing. So that sort of intrigued me in the start, because he had no. Although he was in a human form, he was just sort of copying the form, but he hadn't gone into detail with all the bits.
Yeah.
which I found quite interesting, and he's probably the first one that's shown himself like that. So that was interesting. Alongside Neil doing this, we also had Ant on the SB7, and he was continually listening for words. That wasn't working very well, so Amy put him on the SB11, and again he had nothing at all. He had no words, no communication, come through at all on that, which was quite interesting, because while we were trying to get the demon to also work with her aunt, because Neil was already really busy writing everything down. While we were getting, while Neil was doing that, we were also trying to get him to say words to Aunt, and he said absolutely nothing. Nothing
No.
came through at all.
No, you normally get something, don't you?
Yeah.
Which is unusual.
Yeah. But this, I do think that they are showing us sort of the way with, I mean, them coming to you in a dream and showing you this was quite unusual. But it worked really well.
It was fascinating. And I've had a cough for months now, haven't I?
Yeah.
Did you notice when I was in this meditative state, I didn't cough once?
Yeah, probably because your body was relaxed, and
which was interesting. So we are going to go through all the pages that I wrote. No one's actually seen these before, so I don't think it was on camera, was it?
Although people could see you writing, they couldn't actually see what you were writing.
So we will go through it. So the first page, there's more than one picture page on each on the screen. So let's shrink us down. So number one, that one there is the first page. So to me, it looks to me like it says, "I am a watcher, here to help you. Please call me person, please."
Yes, so that's what he spelt that with the Z, and the other sort of names we had for him got that spelling. So that was interesting.
So then I drew these symbols, which don't mean anything to me.
But some of them, we also on
that
the table,
one,
we had the black box, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So some of these symbols do look very similar to the symbols on the black box.
That one does, doesn't it? It's a triangle in the circle. It's a triangle inside a triangle inside a circle. So, but this one, this bit here, come up a couple of times, didn't it? That symbol. And then there's this sort of wavy thing on two lines.
Looks like 3 pyramids.
Yeah, I've not thought about that. And then he says something like, "Welcome to you find truth," which is interesting.
Yeah.
Some of these do get a little bit controversial if you're religious. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't enlarge the screen. I've been playing with it just before I come on air. That's why we're a little bit late. But I will post them all later tonight. So there'll be, each page will be a separate picture. Okay. I was going to do it yesterday, but yesterday I just felt.
Yeah, with Neil going into that meditative state and then working with that demon for such a long time. When he came out, he did feel a little bit sort of hazy, didn't he?
Yeah, it felt like he'd been on a beer all night.
But then the following day, he did have quite a big paranormal hangover, and he was recovering all day. So.
Yeah. So the second page is this one. Again, there's different symbols. And what I think would be good, I'll post them as I've drew them, but I will also post them again and draw them kind of neater.
Yeah.
I think how they should go.
But that second one, that circle with a cross in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the four circles at the end of each cross, and then there were 3 sort of D's there.
Yeah.
So there's one there, and there was one at the top.
Yeah.
That was Neil's sigil.
Yeah, you asked if Neil's got a sigil.
I asked if Neil had got a sigil and if he could draw as Neil's sigil, and that's what you drew.
Well, yeah. He says, "Am I the only one that the camera is not working? I don't have sound either." You should have. I think everyone else can hear. Sorry. Then he said, "Follow the path," which is interesting.
Yeah, because we were asking him about, the work we were doing, and
yeah. Then down to this one, it says something like, "We are beings from the stars. We only want to help, not to hurt." And then you ask, where's he from, didn't you?
Yes. Where did he originate from?
And it looks to me like it says Sirius B, but Sirius is spelled with a C, but we would spell it with an S, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Which is strange. And then there's more symbols, which is unusual.
Again, no, there was that loop with the 2 lines underneath it in the middle of that circle.
Yeah. That came a few times, didn't it? And then I think you asked, what is this? And he's wrote language. And then there's this long sort of thing, like squares and rectangles. Yeah, I don't know why the sound's fuzzy. It should be okay. It might be that we've got the heater on.
Oh, let me turn that off.
Hopefully that sounds a bit better. So again, I will post up all these pictures on later when I get home. And then there's some more symbols. And then I think you asked how long you've been here.
Yeah.
And he wrote, forever we arrive at the beginning of time.
And again, that same symbol.
And then there's that symbol again, but this time it's got a squiggle. And it
oh,
says
that's
gate.
because we asked. That's because we asked, how did you arrive? And you drew that and wrote gate. And we asked you if it was a stargate.
So then onto this one. And it says, yes, it was a stargate. But then he says, but all gone now. Enlil destroyed them. The war in the stars cast us out.
Yeah. And then you drew.
So does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
In your readings, all these many books that you read?
Think of the war in the heavens and the angels, the fallen angels, because this demon is supposed to be a fallen angel.
Yeah. And then I drew this. It's like 2 lines with circles in the middle, and again, triangles, upside triangle, and a funny symbol there. But long time ago, you were talking to a dealer.
On the shelf just out there.
Possibly, I need to look for it.
Yeah, it was on the shelf there the other day.
And we got John Smith to draw this demon that Jane saw. So Jane described him, and he went on about the war in the heavens, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he says like a thing like a tank.
There was like a silver sort of tank.
And you said
and that looked quite similar to me. Yeah, with that.
Right, and then down to this one, number 7. War to end all wars, but humans still fight in the name of the God. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, you won't. Oh, yes was to something else, I think. You won't move forward until you dispel religion.
Right.
This is the controversial page, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he says God is false. Okay,
Yeah.
This is what I wrote. And then on to the next page, he says power and greed is evil. Man good and creative. If you try. Religion should be removed. You are all equal if you try.
Yeah.
And here there's a couple of no's. One was.
Oh, because we asked. Because somebody mentioned Jesus, and
Yeah.
we said that is Jesus like a god? I think it was something like that, and they said no. And then we asked, was Jesus a real person? And they said no.
So it's very controversial there. And then I'll just shift it up. So this one, the divine power is the universe. The universe can help man to achieve your potential.
Yeah, I understand.
Which does make sense, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I always sort of go by the divine, the universe.
Yeah. Then he said the universe again. I don't know what that was for. And then he says man was created as slaves, but the Watchers wanted to give you your destiny. Something like if you believe in us, we will help man, but we are cast aside as Enlil, as we are cast aside as evil. That is what Enlil wants.
Yeah.
So again, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Because you
to
read
me.
all these books.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I'd never heard of these names till the other week. Not like you, the questers, because we've been called the questers before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Not like you, the questers are helping us, and we will carry on helping and working with you as long as you stay true and on your path. But if you change, we won't help. So please continue.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we've been told that quite a few times, haven't we?
That's all kind of interesting, isn't it? We will help. We've been asked to help others. No, it says others have called upon us, but they only wanted power, and we won't do that. Man doesn't need the power. The universe is here for that.
Yes, I completely get that.
Mm.
You know, we can get our own power individually from the universe if we work at it.
So it's fascinating. So we're more than halfway through the pages. As you can see, I wrote loads.
Yeah.
So do you think this is actually coming from this demon? Because I always doubt things, which I think we should do. Is that not?
Yes, I mean you couldn't hear us. You couldn't ask what we were asking. You couldn't hear the questions. So, you know, we were getting really specific answers fairly quickly. So that to me, you know, there were relevant answers to the questions we were asking. So, you know, that sort of shows to me that he was listening and he sort of responded to what we were asking.
Okay, next page. Enlil is controlling man. Enki must be believed. Then you asked this if Enlil is on Earth.
Yeah, I think.
And then I put Enlil is on Earth. Enki is coming to help you when you invite him.
Yeah.
I just want to add, we are not Satanists. Okay. Then someone asked, is he the something 12 or something?
Was he from the Magnificent 12 or
Magnificent
something?
12. And he put no Anunnaki. Again, it means nothing to me, really.
Yeah.
I know I've seen that name. Bonzam says, they have said what is being told, but yes, they are telling us what we want or the truth. We have to try and find that out for ourselves.
Yeah, they do say that, don't they?
Yeah. And then he says, we are the ancients. We serve Enki. Enki is good and will come to save man. Enlil is known as a god. He is false and wants to control man. Then I think about Enki, he is waiting to come. Then it says the universe.
Yeah.
I
think I asked him that at that point. Where is he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where is he?
He says the universe. They says no. In the stars, and then this is interesting.
Because we asked it whereabouts in the stars was he?
So it looks to me like he's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, and then you said something like where's your planet or something.
Yeah.
And then he did this
little that little sort of circle in amongst the stars. But you said that. So what does that sentence underneath? Yes, it
is. I won't tell you everything. You must work to find more.
Yes, because
you are still being tested.
Somebody asked. We asked you if that was a constellation, and you said yes. and then you drew a circle
Yeah,
around the stars.
around them.
And then because somebody had already asked, is Enki one of the Magnificent 12, and is Enlil one of the Magnificent 12? And then you then said you won't tell us everything because we need to learn.
We need to. You. Yes, it is. I won't tell you everything. You must work to find more.
Yeah.
You are still being tested.
Right.
Which is sensible. So it's just 2 more pages. The last but one is that you are on a journey to learn, and you will be tested on the way.
Okay.
Which is what we thought anyway.
Yeah. So then I asked, will the next demon help us, and which demon is it? To which you wrote number 25.
25, and we haven't done that one, have we?
No, we haven't. So he is going to be next.
And then I wrote, he is waiting. Then he says, some you have already spoken to will return, as we have learned about you and your intentions.
Yeah. So at that point then we'd already been sort of working nearly an hour, so we sort of pulled it to a halt and brought Neil out of his meditative state, and we sort of wound it up, really, didn't we?
Yeah. So if people watched the Demon Connections on Sunday, please tell us what you thought.
Or if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it and tell us what you think.
I always say after every one, that was the best one. But
yeah.
Sundays was by far.
But they just keep getting better and better.
The best one.
And some of the information that we've learned, like this, it just, we've got to check out that constellation, because you when you felt it looked like
the plough to me.
Yeah.
But I have looked. There are actually more stars in the plough.
Is that the same as a Little Dipper and the Big Dipper?
No.
The saucepan.
Saucepan.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a saucepan.
Yeah, it does look a bit like that. Actually.
I don't know. We, like I say, I will put all these pages on our page. I'll put it in the comments on the video as well, and then with the symbols, I will try and draw them
a bit cleaner,
neat.
Yeah.
Bit neater. Bonzam said it was amazing. Thank you. Have you watched them all? I guess they are a little bit controversial.
Yeah, but it's information
do you think they're controversial though?
I don't think they're controversial. It's just that they're giving us information that just the average sort of, or just the general sort of paranormal investigators don't always sort of sit down and actually get this sort of information.
Yeah, let's put some comments up then. First one, it was amazing. Oh, obviously they live in New Zealand. Thank you. We say the saucepan in New Zealand. Vicky says, evening guys, Sunday was fab. So strange, Neil, how you didn't cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when I watched the video back during the experiment. Wish I got something through on the STS to help give even more confirmation. Yeah, but it does make sense that if person was concentrating, if he was actually,
because he was standing, I felt he was standing next to you, and afterwards, in hindsight, I wish we'd have put that new REM pod on the floor next to you.
Yeah. So if he's concentrating on giving me symbols and words, I don't know. Perhaps I think
maybe he was just focusing all his attention on you.
Like I said last night, perhaps he's a male. We can't multitask, can we? It might be a demon, but Andrina says it was fantastic and amazing in equal measure. I believe he was really talking through you now. Thank you.
Because you said, didn't you, that when you were in that meditative state, you felt completely disconnected, and you were sitting on a bench
I went here
by some water.
Yeah, I was in the forest next to a running brook or
Yeah, and you were sitting down, weren't you? And
Yeah.
you could see the shape in front of you. You couldn't actually see it as a human form, but you could see the shape of like a shadow in front of you.
Hmm.
So I thought that was really quite interesting.
See, I never know what to expect. Whether I know what I'm writing, whether I'm aware that I'm doing.
So were you aware that you were writing?
No,
So I
not
think
not
that,
at all.
you see that because when they say like you get overshadowed or you channel and that sort of thing, it's a bit like when you're driving a car and when spirit comes in, it's like you getting in the back seat and somebody coming in and driving in the front seat of the car, and then they get out and you then get back into the front seat to carry on driving. And that sounded quite like what you were doing.
Yeah. Monzam says, I think 3 so far. Oh, you got lots to catch up on then.
We have done 24 so far. That was the 24th we did on Sunday.
See, this is an interesting comment. Bonzam says, I was hesitant watching first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were, to be honest, I was hesitant doing it the first time we ever did. There was just Jane and me. And we didn't do it live, we recorded it because I didn't know what was going to happen. For all I know, I was going to be puking mushy peas. We didn't know, did we?
No.
So we didn't want to put it out there. But some people don't like what we do.
No.
But that's their choice. But the vast majority of people watch it say it's changed their perspective of these demons.
And before anybody sort of comments about we should use protection, we shouldn't be doing this, blah blah blah, all that sort of thing, we are fully aware of all the risks, and we do look at all the possible risks. We have contingency plans in place. We don't just sort of do it willy-nilly. We sit down, we have discussions, we look at all the problems, all the issues, all the concerns, and everything like that the team have. So we don't do this lightly, and we're not Satanists, we're not devil worshippers. We're not going into the bowels of Beelzebub. It is pure research what we're doing on an open-minded, sort of non-judgmental sort of way, where we can openly invite these demons in and work with them without any prejudice, without any religion. And it seems to be working quite well so far.
Yeah. Eric says, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I know you want to see the symbols, Eric. I apologise I didn't put them up yesterday, but I wasn't feeling 100% after Sunday. I wasn't ill. It's just that
you had a bit of a paranormal
hangover. It was really bad. Bonzam says, think the water one you invented was the first time. Yeah, the water Ouija was a good one. But there's more to come. Eric says, I could feel that he was disconnected, that whatever was talking was in total control and could only concentrate on Neil. That's why nothing from the spirit box. Yeah, we agree.
And also, I was sitting next to Neil, and one of the things that we do is we look out for each other. And I've been working with Neil for over 10 years now, and I can recognise the signs. I know when he's being affected, so nothing would have happened. Well, if it had, we'd have got it on camera first.
Yeah.
And we'd have asked it a few questions before we'd pulled him back.
Yeah, Amy and Anne will get their phones out to get on camera, so we've got lots of cameras on it.
Yeah, unless he's being dragged around the ceiling and puking mushy peas, we're not too worried.
And this is one of the reasons why, Jane, you don't really get involved in the experiments as such, do you?
No.
Because it's Jane's job to invite the demon in the first place, and then it's Jane's job to sort of make sure everything's okay. We're okay. Nothing's going to turn nasty.
Yeah.
So that's why Jane. It might look like Jane sits back, but she doesn't. She's making sure that we're okay.
and we are pushing the boundaries as far as we can. But we all know the risks. We all agree to the risks, and we're all well aware of our own boundaries and what happens. Because if I get affected or overshadowed, they will know to completely leave me alone. Don't just leave me.
Yeah,
and I'll sort it out.
Yeah. Bonzam says, yes, knowing what you're doing makes a difference. Thank you. Eric says, and that's how research should be done. Thank you. And that's why we're lucky to have the centre. We can do this sort of thing in the centre without affecting anybody else.
Yeah.
I know other people come into the centre, but not during the Demon Connections experiments. Vicky says, it has totally changed my perspective on demons. I even tell my guests to watch a few of the episodes and then make a decision themselves. Thank you, Vicky. That's the right attitude, isn't it? Lynn says, I love your approach. Very healthy. Great to hear this. Very refreshing. Thank you. Noreen says, very balanced research. Thank you. And Eric says, I know what you mean, Neil. I could feel that you were drained. It was weird. I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol, but it felt like I had 15 points yesterday.
Yeah.
I just couldn't function.
And this is one of the things we say about we're aware of the risks and everything else, because I did sort of say to Neil that he might sort of feel like this afterwards, but he had to take one for the team.
Well, after dinner is but I want to.
Yeah, and this is why we I think this is why we sort of get the information that we do and get the get the information from Spirit like we do, because we put the effort in and we don't run off screaming. We don't invite them in and then slam doors in their faces and run off screaming and stuff like that. So it's all the information's captured as well, because each episode that we do is all being written down, all our findings and everything else. And yesterday was Sunday was the 24th demon that we've done, and these are all going to go into a book. So we will be publishing all our findings. I'm not sure whether we're going to do the whole 72 and publish the whole lot together, or whether
I think we should do a series of books,
or whether we will do it depends. So once I've written up the next one, which will be 25, we'll see how big the book's getting.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to end up humongous with 72 in it, I think we're going to have to cut it down a bit.
Plus, it is going to take us a long time to do 72, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if we've done 25, and we'll see how.
Yeah, we started this 28th of March 2021, so it's nearly 2 years we've been doing this, and we've done, by then we'd have probably done, 26 demons, 27 demons, so we're not even halfway, so it's going to take us another couple of years probably.
Yeah. Eric says, I think a series of books too with details. Yeah, I'm leaning to that as well, Eric, because if it's going to be 800,000 pages long to have them all, we're going to cut things out, aren't we?
Yeah, and things like these pictures that you're seeing tonight of what Neil wrote, they will all be in the book under this particular demon. So
yeah,
it's going to be, you will see everything that we've written down and we've captured in that book.
Nori says, probably better broken up as a series, then it's not too overwhelming.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll let you know. We're not even started. Well, Jane's made all the notes and everything, so it is sort of started, isn't it?
Yeah. I've just got to finish writing up what we did on Sunday, because I want Neil's prints of these things that he's written down, copies of these, to put in with it, but it's getting there. So watch this space. I know the Demon Connections will be coming a lot more often now, because we're not doing so many team investigations on a Sunday now, so whenever we are all free, Yeah.
You know, you might get 4 weeks when the demon file every week. Depends what happens, of course. You
Yeah,
know.
because we're going to pull them in as much as we can.
Nori says it's an easier read in sections I find as an avid reader. Thank you. Eric says you can already count me in on every single one. Oh, thank you. It just, like I say, some people have disassociated themselves with me because of the demon connections, but to me, it's their loss. I do think it is the most important thing we do.
But I do think that was partly, I do think that was partly because of their own ego, because they were concerned, being friends of ours, the impact it would have on them with us doing the demon connections. So they had to disassociate themselves with us because they didn't want our projects impacting on them and what people thought of them being friends with us because of this.
But as far as I'm concerned, they're still my friend. Yeah. I don't fall out with anybody, really. Bonzam said it's exciting. Then they say we are here to learn, good or bad.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, that's one of the key messages that comes through on most of the demon things, that we have to keep learning. We have to keep doing the research. We have to keep finding ways to sort of work with these demons, and they do make us really work for it, don't they? Sometimes.
I thought it was interesting tonight when they said some of the ones we've already spoken to want to come back because now they've learned about our intentions. I thought that was interesting.
Probably some of the earlier ones, yeah.
Because the very early ones they were a bit cagey because
a bit cautious.
Because other people have tried to and speak to them, but they wanted them to give them power.
Yeah.
For example, Aleister Crowley, he wanted power, didn't he?
Yeah. And then some people who summon them or whatever, when they sort of get there, they then sort of misinterpret everything that they're saying and run around and do the clickbait and all the screaming and everything else. And you've probably got a demon there saying, "What? What are you inviting me to come? And now what? You're running around screaming?"
Yeah. And that to me, that's one of the most frustrating things on YouTube.
Imagine if you turned up somebody's house and then they started slamming the door in your face and running around screaming because you turned up.
Yeah.
When they'd asked you to come over.
So please keep the comments coming in. So the Demon Connections is going to carry on. We are going to be doing more because it's not that I want to get to the end of them. I want to know what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah, and we have got a bit of a special coming up. This idea did sort of generate from when it said some of them were going to be coming back, and from the experiment that we did on Sunday. So we've got a bit of an anniversary coming up at the end of March. Maybe we should do it then.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, no. Did you realise we forgot our 5th birthday?
No.
On February the 2nd.
I did that.
The centre is 5 years old, and we forgot to celebrate our birthday.
Oh well, we'll perhaps do it next week.
Nori says demons get a bad rap. Yes, I agree with you, due to misconceptions and religion. Yeah, definitely. Hollywood is atrocious to me.
Yeah.
The way I as soon as I start watching a film and it goes on about demon possessing somebody, I thought, no, that's garbage, isn't it?
Yeah, but we've only done the first 20. I mean, maybe they're sending all the nice ones first, or maybe there is no bad ones. This is why we want to find out what they're all about. But one of the most intriguing things was the demon that makes people fall in love.
And what happened then the week after?
Yeah.
Ask Amy. And Barry.
Bless them.
Bless the little cotton socks. I'm glad she's not watching. She'd tell me off. So yeah, the Demon Connections will be coming thick and fast now,
Yeah.
so we can get through them. Yeah, series of books.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to get this first one finished with the pictures and everything in it and just see how many pages are in it for now. Because to me, it doesn't seem an awful lot, but when you do start actually writing it all up, the pages soon add up, don't they?
Yeah, but it's also what we were feeling about it as well.
Yeah.
How we felt, I think.
I think perhaps maybe we should, look at perhaps the first 25. I don't even think 72 fits in a proper. It's not a prime number, is it?
No. Yeah, being posh there, prime number.
36, that's halfway, isn't it? 36.
No, that's too many.
Do you think?
I think 25.
18. You're going to have to do it in equal numbers. I'll mess up my OCD. 18.
18. Okay then.
1836.
Let us know, you people who are watching, if you want part
We'll
one.
maybe go for 36 halfway.
Oh God.
Because that's not that. That's only another 10 more, isn't it? We'll
Okay.
see. I need to write. I need to get these.
We'll let the viewers say. What would you like? The first 18 or the first 36 in book one?
Yeah.
Let us know now.
If you go for 36, that means there's 4 books, wouldn't there? There'd be 4 books with 72.
36 and 36 is 72. That means 2 books.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
If you go for 18, there's 4 books.
That's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The votes are coming in. Bonzam said 25, 3 books.
Yeah, that would work.
Oh, Jessica Wood says, if you can please keep all your previous Demon Connection videos up on the page, that would greatly appreciated. I'm planning to rewatch them all again. Happy 5th birthday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will. I must admit, I need to get my backside into gear.
I think there were some, most of them are on there, but there was a sort of a small block of about 4 or 5, wasn't there, that we videoed because they were put together for a network.
Yeah.
But I think
they rejected it.
Yeah, they rejected it because I think it was a bit too controversial. I don't think they like people summoning demons and then just sitting around having a nice time. It didn't fit their scare factor thing. So
so Eric says 18.
So it could be
Bonsam
that we put
said,
them recorded ones.
Yes, yeah, I'll sort them out. Bonsam said, how many are there? There are 7. No, there's more than 72. They're in there.
Well, there's 72. Maybe we do it with 25s then. There's more than 72. Well, there's 72 demons in the Alessikia Solomon, which is the demons we were looking at. But we were also asked to do a couple of others. So we have actually done, I think, Beelzebub, he's not in there. And we have done Lilith. And she's not in there. So it may be, so we can make it up to 75 because we do want to have a go at Zozo as well.
I was just going to say we want to do
Zozo.
We want to do Zozo.
People obviously have asked us to do Zozo.
Quite a few people have asked if we're going to do Zozo.
Yeah.
So we will do Zozo, and yes, we will use a Ouija board.
But we can do the 72 and then put them 3 on the end of the book as additional.
Noreen
extras.
says 25 at a time. Andrina said 18. 3 is the magic number, so 24.
Oh yeah.
Andrina says yes, 25 please. So I think they want 3 books, Jane.
Yeah, well we could start working on that, couldn't we? Oh, exciting.
So better get Mr. Saw designing the covers.
We've already got the cover, haven't we? Our Demon Connections.
Yeah, but I've had an idea.
Oh God, here we go.
I've had an idea. I'm also getting ideas for the next one. Next Demon Connections live. So yeah, okay then. We will do it. We will start and get the first book out as soon as we can.
Yeah, I can actually work on all that this weekend.
What, you're going to type in the whole book of the weekend?
Well, I have got it all written up by hand, haven't I? My book, it's a case now of writing it all into the format, getting it into the format that we want, and then adding in all the pictures in the right place.
Yeah, Jessica's 25 would be great.
Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that we'll do it. It's going to be a series of books. So that's exciting. Bonzam says,
And
and ship to
New
New Zealand. Yes,
Absolutely.
of course. Yes, of course. And obviously, because we are really nice people, the whole team will sign each copy.
Oh, exciting.
I'm not told Amy and yet, but we will sign every single one because
we're good like that.
Because that's the personal touch, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go. Let's get cracking then.
Cool.
Mrs. Rowley.
Sorted. I've had so many things sorted today. It's been a good day today.
Oh, good. So, is there anything that you would particularly like us to do on a Demon Falls? I've had an idea. I'd like to do one in a castle.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you see, we look at when we're doing the research, running up to doing the Demon Falls, we look at each individual one and we see what they're sort of good at, what they're renowned for being a demon for, you know. And in some cases, it's recorded what colour candle you use, what your sigil is, what you know, what their favourite colours are, what all sorts of things like that, the best time to summon them. And we try to address all that and put all that into place. So it really depends on what the info is surrounding that particular demon.
Because we've done 2 in the woods, haven't we?
Yeah.
So because they're one looking after the woods and one was an archer, I think.
Yes.
One of the very first ones was the archer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put this comment up from Jessica. Jessica says, a book would be so great. After many years researching for a book with findings and information about demons, there are not many, if not any, out there. It would definitely be a bestseller amongst us. Thank you. It's nice. It's nice getting comments like this. It's nice to see people watching. I know we're never going to get thousands of people watch it because of the subject. But we're not bothered by that, really, are we?
No.
If no one watches it, we will still do it.
I mean, if we can change people's perception a little bit, that'll be really good, because we are brainwashed into so much. We're fed so much information through the churches, through media, through all sorts of stuff. And most of us just take it on board as being the gospel truth, and we believe it, and we don't question it. We don't look into our own information and find our own. We don't do our own research to sort of confirm what we're actually believing in. And we know quite a few people have come to us and said, you know, they've enjoyed it and it has actually inspired them to go away and look at their own information, read up on it all, and then make up their own minds rather than just being fed stuff from churches and mainstream media.
Bonzam said exactly. Yeah, because the information you read at the start is in the public domain.
It is.
It's there. And not one out of these 25 who says pure evil, don't touch them, stay away.
Yeah. No. And if you think about it, these 72 demons have been around or recorded in this for a very long time. King Solomon was supposed to have recorded all these in his book, which is where it originates from. And then from his papers and stuff, it was sort of came through other sources like the I can't think off the top of my head, but it came through other sources, and then around about the 1500s, it was, you know, rewritten as to what all these individual demons did, and people did pictures of them and what they thought they were like. And then you got people like Aleister Crowley that came in and sort of did his bit. But the core sort of pieces of information about each one of these demons hasn't changed for hundreds of years. And if you think they've been around all that time, look at the amount of people that we have on this earth. And how many exorcisms, how many I'm talking real possessions, where the complete body is overtaken by some sort of evil demon entity. They're very few and far between.
Yeah,
you know, there's supposed to be thousands of demons.
And all these people who get taken over, possessed of religious people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there's so
Don't
much
get
out
me
there
on
to look
religion
at.
though.
Yeah, I mean, we've always worked on the basis that if you take religion out of the paranormal and work with what you've got, it changes things quite a bit.
Yes,
It
it does.
changes your findings quite a bit.
It does. And do things yourself, basically. Do your research and find out for yourselves. Don't listen too much to what other people say, especially the celebrities.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Ron,
there's so many things out there that you've got to question. Even like residual energy. Don't let me get started on.
don't
residual
start
energy.
Jane on residual energy. Eric says apparently they did just find a big cache of Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah. Now the only problem with that is they are handled by men and archaeologists who don't want us all to know the truth. So they're going to just tell us whatever they want us to know, rather than that tell us actually the truth.
And what
I find that frustrating.
What we need is one of the demons to come along and say, "Look, guys, I'll help you break into the vaults of the Vatican. You can spend a fortnight in there reading all these scrolls and writings that the church don't want us to see." Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Now us and the demons are a pally. Lynn says correct. Eric says totally agree with you. Bonzo says I thank my mother for not pushing religion on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, religion is all about control.
Yeah, and blind faith as well.
I actually watched. I watched the news the other day about this earthquake in Turkey, right? On Sky News, this father lost all his family apart from his 8-year-old daughter. And you know what he said to her? It was God's will.
Mm.
And I just think,
I can't get my.
no, they obviously translated it, and he says, don't worry, it was God's will. As if that makes it all okay to lose all your family, or your mother, your brothers, and it's a bit weird to me. As you can tell, we're not very religious. To be honest, the more demon connection shows we do, the more anti-religion I've become.
Yeah. Well, I was religious when I was younger. I was religious. I did go to church every Sunday, and I did go to Sunday school, and I was confirmed.
And you started getting burnt when you went to the door.
I went to church right up until I was 16, but it never sat right with me. It didn't feel right. There was something that was sort of missing. There was something that wasn't right. And it's only when I started on my spiritual path that I realised that, a lot of the truths came to me from that, and that's what I worked on.
Mm-hmm. I like this comment. Sam says, "You're my kind of people." Well, you're a nutter as well. Sorry, that was a joke. That says your way of thinking. I think, yeah. We do think kind of out of the box a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
And we like to challenge things.
But it can be a bit controversial as well if you try and challenge things, doesn't it? Because I've always said, if you look at Ed and Lorraine Warren, now they're very respected in the paranormal world. Lots and lots of people really respect all the work that they do, and I do admire them as people. But at the same time, all their work was based on religion. And if you took the religion out of it, how much of their findings would have been left? That I'm quite interested in that sort of side of it, because although I know they did great work and they were very respected and they did lots of stuff towards the paranormal, I do question some things. If you'd have took the religious side out of it and they'd have just worked without religion, how much of it would have actually been real?
It's true. Bonzam said, thinking outside the box has got me into trouble.
Oh, it's always getting into trouble.
It will, because people don't like people to be different, do they? Some people don't like to think people are doing something different to them.
Yeah.
Some people think what they're saying is correct.
But also, people don't like you speaking up and speaking out against things. You know, when I first started in the paranormal, you know, with Ouija boards and things, people said you always have to close it down. You always have to do this. There's so many rules around the Ouija boards that you have to do. And all of a sudden you think, well, who made up these rules? Where did they come from? What authority does it give? Why are these rules imposed on people? You know, where does it all originate from? And once you start asking questions, and people go, I don't know, don't know. Yeah, but you're telling me all these rules that I've got to do, but you don't even know where they originate from, who wrote them,
and why
we have to do this.
Yeah, it's all good fun. I am glad there are quite a lot of people enjoying what we're doing with Demon Connections.
Yeah, and we will, you know, if people question us, we will always have an answer, because a lot of our stuff is driven from spirit. See, like the experiment that came on Sunday, that came to Neil in a dream. You can, you know, we can tell you where our ideas and our thoughts originate from and why we do things. We will always explain that. We won't just, you know, do something because somebody tells us to.
Yeah, and we don't just turn up on a Sunday and think, shall we do this?
No. And when people message us with stuff as well, I always take that with a pinch of salt. Yeah, you know, are you listening, James? Yeah. I always take that with a pinch of salt, because people will message us. I get quite a few messages saying you can't do this and you should be doing that, and you know, this is the real way to do stuff and everything else. And you know, I'm just going to do my own thing and learn in my own way, so I believe and I know what I'm doing.
And we 100%, no doubt about it, believe in the Demon Connections.
Yeah, we do.
To me, like we said, they are the most important thing that we do.
Yeah,
we're lucky that we got the centre so we can do it in there.
Yeah, and what we do, we don't know whether we don't particularly care whether it's right or wrong, but we're going to do it anyway because it's what we want to learn, and it's our path, and we're just going to do it anyway.
Yeah. So, you doubters out there, tough. Okay, Noreen says, you should always go with that, with what feels right for you, and you can't go wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, people, when I first said we're going to do the demon, it was called the Demon Files then. People saying, no, you're wrong, Neil, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I could have quite easily said, I don't think we should do that, Jane.
Yeah, and we've even had people coming into the shop, you know, coming into the centre telling us that we can't do this and we can't do that. And one chap came in with the Bible under his arm, didn't he? Called you an abomination.
I'm an abomination.
And we've had people coming up into the centre telling us we can't do this because we're not authorised to do it. Well, on whose authorisation? Who says we're not authorised to do whatever we want to do in our centre?
Okay, Von says, hi Jane and Neil, sorry could not comment earlier. The Demon Files are very good. Last show was brilliant, thank you. And then she says, I believe just do what you want to do, it's your path. Exactly. This is our path. We're loving it.
Yeah.
I must admit, we're all four of us are loving it who are involved. And we can't wait for the next one, to be honest, because we just don't know what's going to happen, and that's the exciting bit.
And the next one will be number 25, so we'll be able to at least start winding up the first book.
Yeah, Nori said, nobody is an expert. We are all learning in our own way and should be free to do so without judgment. Exactly. Like I said, if no one watched the live feeds, we'd still do them anyway. Jessica said, Ed Warren was a demonologist. However, they both worked hand in hand with the churches, working for priests for a big chunk of their careers. Yes, they did. Vicky says you had to follow your own path. If we were all the same, that would be boring. Yep. Yvonne says, who's number 25?
It is. I think it's something like Glasby Labolus, something like that.
I've got no chance of getting that name right, am I?
Yeah, you can look it all up. It's number 25 in the Leicester Keir Solomon. I think it's something like Glasby Labolus.
I'm going to call him Glazzy. Eric says, I dare anyone to define normal. Exactly. What is normal?
I'm normal. I'm completely.
Von says,
My psychiatrist says so.
Von says, did you take photographs of your writings? Yeah, I did. I will put them on the pages when I get home, Von. They're all here on the computer. They're all on my phone. And then she says, I will look it up. Yeah, that will be in a couple of weeks, I think.
26th, didn't we say? Will be the next one. Not this Sunday. Sunday after, unless sort of we're able to get in the centre and do some before that.
One says, I am not normal. I don't want to be. And then Vicky says, I tried to be normal once. Worst 5 minutes of my life. I wouldn't have thought it lasted 5 minutes, Vicky. Anyway, it's gone 9 o'clock, so we are going to put an end to this live.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've not watched last night's Sunday night's Demon Connections, it was an exceptionally good one.
Yeah, maybe you could put a link up to help people find it.
Yeah. So we are going to say goodnight to everyone, and we hope to see you very, very soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Don't forget, we got Paranormal Blackout on Thursday with Barry Frankish. Okay, last couple of comments. Eric says, even another demonologist said what people are calling demons are not demons. Yeah, I agree. One says, Neil, can I ask quickly, did you feel anything in the pyramid? To be honest, I didn't feel anything at all. Jane put me in a meditative state. So I was in a nice wood next to a nice brook.
Babbling brook.
I loved it. I was well out of it.
Yeah, but you did have the shadow with you, didn't you?
There was a like a solid cloud to the side of me. I didn't know what it was. So I didn't know anything about it until you brought me back. Then I was crying.
Yeah, you were. It was quite emotional.
I was crying. It was quite emotional. Seeing everything I've written was emotional. So we will see you all very soon. Tune into the Paranormal Blackout if you can on Thursday. If not, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, so take care. Good night.
Bye.